But my question is, again, if you have a supply chain blockchain and it is decentralized sufficiently, right? Does that provide insurance against the underlying vulnerability of the computer?
Oh, stop. You've asked a very good question, but we have to answer it in a specific fashion. If you can properly come up with the risks and threats, we can probably come up with counters to most or all of those risks or threats. But you have to phrase the problem correctly: the use case, the problem, the risks and threats. You have, you want to prevent against a 51% attack? We can use a permissioned blockchain and be very careful about who is permissioned. And there's all kinds of compensating controls we can put in place against that. Okay, does that make sense? I think even Pedram will agree with me on this, that depending on how you phrase the problem and how you build the problem equation in the use case, we can build checks and balances, counters, compensating controls, call it what you will, against some, most, or all of those risks and threats.
So
but
what I'm talking about
is the problem. Does that make sense?
What I'm talking about, though, is the paradigm, right? I mean, we can put walls and gates around something to secure it, which has historically been the paradigm. My question is, by taking those walls and gates out and essentially decentralizing it to the point that, say, Bitcoin is decentralized, right?
Take the word Bitcoin out and put democracy. Because what you've got, no, I'm actually not joking. There are checks and balances built into our democratic institutions here in the US. If those checks and balances are subverted, because it is a decentralized democracy, everybody has their own vote, okay? And has a vote, I should say. If you bypass but those checks and balances were built against a very specific use case, a very specific, if you'll excuse the expression, business case. So, the paradigm of democracy, do you want to go back to ancient Greece? They were democratic to a certain degree, but they were city-states. We are nation-states. It's a very different, and nuclear weapons changed the equation slightly, just saying. So, any paradigm is amazing in the idea, but in the execution and the implementation is where the devil lies, the details.
Absolutely. Have you guys ever heard of helium?
The gas?
So, helium. No. So helium is actually, it's a Byzantine fault tolerance that is built on Erlang. It handles Honey Badger protocol, 10,000 transactions per second. It's designed for scalability. And that's a little bit closer to what you're talking about when you say, is there a way for a blockchain to compensate for the underlying vulnerabilities of the computer? When you're saying, that computer is a Raspberry Pi, then you've reduced a lot of the vectors. All the way? No, but you're going to have to get further and further and further to known hardware, to known specific things, and processes that check that. The fact that the Supermicro had like a hidden chip in it for a decade, that's insane.
That's insane. Yeah.
Look, Gerard, please understand, neither Pedram nor myself are saying that you're wrong. What we're saying is that you have to specify what you're talking about in order to get an answer to your question.
Yeah, we're consultants.
Sorry, what was that? Venkat, what was that?
He said, yeah, we're consultants.
Yeah, I mean, that's well, okay, yeah, true, but it's because we've been burned by too many people going, can you fix my stuff? Yeah. Well, tell me what your stuff is,
I'm joking, but you're right. It depends.
No, you're right too, man. It's true.
I'm a big fan of decentralization. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of small private permissioned networks, because I think that essentially that's just basically a database, right? And so the more open and transparent, and the more witnesses there are, then the more secure it is. But that's again, that's a very high level generic statement, but I kind of fall into that camp.